Welcome back, friends. Today is Wednesday, and by golly, it's August already. Can you believe it? Today's lesson is going to be strictly about relaxation, unwinding. It's very slow, it's very pragmatic, it's not at all hard work. So, if you're looking for more work, this is not the lesson for you. Go back to one of the others that we have done. This one is helping people unwind. It's a full lesson. I did do at the beginning of one of the other lessons like a 10 to 20 minute how to unwind quickly before bed. This one is a full lesson, so it'll still have that same effect, even greater. Um, so you don't have to use it before bed. Use it for stress. Use it for every day, whatever you want to. But this one's going to be just slow and methodical. And so here we go. We're going to start off with mountain. Now, normally in mountain, we do it after we do a lot of work, and I have you start to bring yourself down. In this particular case, we're starting mountain in the beginning, so we're going to do a more energetic version of mountain, a more traditional version of mountain of how other people tend to do it. You can use it both ways. We just don't normally do it this way. So to get started, this is Tadasana. If you've ever heard that name, that's what this is. It's your, essentially we are building and engaging. So I want you to start with your feet. We're going to build this mountain. Shoulder width apart still, that's the same. Bring those toes up in the air and root. Really brace down the four corners of your feet. Feel, they're called the four corners here. Drive those down into the floor. That is starting the beginning of rooting yourself in. And now slowly lower those toes down, spreading them out. Your whole foot is hugging into that floor. The next step is working up those legs. I want your knees not locked, but soft. But I want you to engage the knees, the quads. Now you're tightening as you go. Now there's energy there coming up through your hips. Feel your hips sinking down. Let's check your hips. Make sure your butt's not way back out. Make sure it's not pulled too far in like we do when we're doing core work. Have your hips neutral, engaged. Now drawing up from the diaphragm and the heart center upward toward the sky. Shoulders are down, arms out and active. And then lastly, think about that marionette where you're drawing yourself tall so your whole spine is drawing upward and holding. This is mountain. It may look like you're not active, but it's a very active pose. Now let's breathe. Everything is held strong. You're feeling how strong you are. Focus on that breathing and holding this. Every part of your body is in action. Let's do one more long inhale and exhale. And release. Now we'll release down to the mountain we normally do, which is very relaxed. You're still in your posture. Let those arms relax. Relax your feet. Yes, they are still grounding you, but they're not tense. Your knees, relax those knees. No quad muscles. Focus on your balance. And your breathing. great way to get started. I'm actually going to pull my hair up out of the way because we're going to be bending over here. If you are someone who needs the block, then make sure you have your block right now positioned in front of you, because we're going to be using this throughout the lesson. All right, but first, let's do a fingertip stretch, reaching to the sky. There's something just beyond your fingertips. Feel that stretch, filling up your lungs. And we're going to do a side stretch. Gently grab one wrist and draw that up one side open. Feel your whole core opening. Make sure to get complete exhale on that breathing. And let's do the other side. So first, fingertip stretch. Feeling longer on one side. And take the wrist to the other side. Drawing up and out of the hip. And back, fingertip stretch. And go ahead and release these hands down behind you. Let's do our first chest opener. So clasping your hands behind your back, rolling those shoulders open. Remember to use a strap if you can't reach the fingertips, so that you can still get the chest opening here. If you're feeling really flexible, you can drive those hands away from your body. How's your neck? Lean it to one side because your shoulders are down. Bring it back up. Let's do the other side. How are your toes? Are they clenching or have you spread them wide? And back to center. Now press that chin toward the sky. And back center. And now tuck the chin, drawing it backward, stretching out the length of that neck. And back up. Go ahead and release. Okay. We're going to just go down to hanging ragdoll. So simply lowering yourself slowly. Your knees can be soft. If you are really tight, make sure you have a bend in those knees. And we're just focusing on beginning to open up your spine, maybe your hamstrings. You can gradually begin to straighten those knees if that's one thing you're working on. If you can't put your hands on the floor, go ahead and grab your block. I just want you to rock side to side here, gently. Feel the stretch through the lower back and the hips. Let's do one more. Okay, we're going to do a spinal twist. So again, your block will come in handy here. With that right hand on the floor, bend your right knee, drawing the chest to the sky. Just beginning to open up with the spinal twist here. I guess if you're following me on the video, you're doing your left side. That's okay. Let's switch sides. Everything is slow, methodical. Switch hands, center, bend the opposite knee, slowly drawing the chest to the other side, and focus on your breathing. And then come right back down to hanging in ragdoll. We'll slowly roll up, so bending those knees. Really taking your time on this, since we've been upside down for a little while. Try to feel one vertebrae at a time. Really checking in with your body, feeling every move. Continue with a wide sweep of those hands back to the sky. Fingertip stretch. And release down. So now we're going to take a little wider stance with our feet off to a 45-degree angle. This is our flat-footed squat. Once you start to go down, you can make the adjustments for yourself. The goal is to keep your feet flat on the floor at all times. So you may only get to this point. You may want your block. You may be able to go all the way down or most of the way down to a seated position. Again, you may want to use your block so that you can get the benefit of the stretch without any pain. If you do get all the way down, then bring those hands to prayer. I'm on a slant, sorry, tilty. Bring your hands to a prayer position and draw that chest upward while pressing the knees apart. We're going to stay in this squat for a little bit, so find a way to get comfortable with it. You may have to sit on the chair, and that's okay, because you can still focus on pressing those knees away, opening the hips. And now place one hand on the floor, the other hand on your knee, drawing that heart center to the side for a spinal twist here. Let's do the other side. Switch hands. And both hands to the floor. Let's straighten those legs. Here we are back to hanging ragdoll. Maybe you're a little bit more open than you were. And we'll crisscross our arms this time. First, in the direction that you normally do every day. Pressing the elbows toward the floor. Feel the added stretch through your spine and your hamstrings. And now to keep you balanced, unwind one arm so that you are crisscrossing in the opposite direction that you do every day. Got to keep you balanced. Go ahead and release. Bend those knees and slowly roll up. Let's do another chest opener. clasp those hands. Fist those hands, I guess. Open that chest. Place them on your lower back. Standing back bend here. And back up. How are we doing so far? I have a particular kink in my neck today, so I would like to work on some neck stretches. That's okay with you. I'm going to turn around away from you. But we'll start with hand on the lower back. Make sure the shoulders down, leaning that neck away. Make sure your free hand is drawing toward the floor. Now keeping that head tilted. Turn your nose toward your shoulder. And let's do the other side. Turning that nose toward your shoulder. And then back up. So let's gently just do a neck roll here. Nice and slowly. It's a good check-in, but it's also a good release. And then make sure you switch directions. If you ever get to the point where you can actually feel a knot, moist heat is really the best way to get the blood rushing there to help that. But then once you get it heated up, that's a lot of times you'll hear somebody say it's a trigger point. You can either massage with your hand or tennis ball on the wall, or even hold on that trigger point for 10, 20, 30 seconds, trying to get that to release. And then once you do, then the blush will rush in there and help renew that space. So don't feel badly if it takes working on it for a little while, but you know what feels good. Make sure you have moist heat involved though, because that's the key to getting the healing properties in your body to heal, helping it heal itself. Okay, let's move on. Sun Goddess. Nice wide stance, continuing to open those hips up. So Sun Goddess. Take those hands up. Inhale, exhale, drawing the chest open. Seating down until all your air is gone. Make sure that your tailbone is not sticking out the back, that it's tucked under. So belly button toward the spine, your lower back is protected each time. Thinking about those knees, opening them. Let's do 2 more of these. So do them at your own pace with your breathing. Always inhale up and exhaling through the work. back up. Okay, so let's swan dive those hands down to the floor. We're, yes, once again down, but this time we're down here with our feet wide. We'll focus a little bit on spinal twisting, so keeping your hips straight. I want you to turn your upper body to one side. Focus on your breathing. Feel that stretch through the mid and upper back. Remember, your knees can be soft if that's more comfortable for you. Just as long as your lower body stays in place and you're doing the twist with your upper body. Let's walk those hands back. Reset in center. Spinal twist to the other side. So whichever side is challenging you more, then spend a little extra time on that one to open it up so you can be more balanced and even with your stronger side. And walking those hands back center. Now, take your hands to the top of that mat. Remove your foot so that you are back to downward dog. Get yourself into position and just feel the stretch. Pushing that floor away. Let's stretch out your calves, so bending one knee. Remembering to keep your hips square. Let's do the other side. Relax that kneecap. Then we'll gently bicycle those legs, just one heel down, then the other heel down. All the while you're pushing the floor away to make sure your shoulders are protected. We're not rocking side to side, we're keeping the hips square. One more time. And then down to your hands and knees. So we're going to lunge from downward dog to a lunge. If you need to stop at this point and help yourself do a knee lunge, then that's why I came down here as an example. Otherwise, we're going to go just to do a lunge to finish, open up the hip flexors. So either downward dog or hands and knees to a lunge, bring that foot up. You're just keeping your chest down on this lunge. If you're more comfortable with your back knee down, then that's where it should be. You're still getting the stretch through the hip flexor and the quads. That's your goal here. As you're breathing, think about sinking that tailbone, allowing gravity to assist in opening up those hips. And we'll pull the foot out, either back to downward dog or kneeling, and lunge with the opposite foot. Let's throw that foot out. Downward dog for all. And child's pose. Make sure you're sitting yourself down and the head is resting on something, whether it's your block or your hands or the floor. The spine needs to have that complete rest. Child's pose is a renewing pose. And once you get here, you can feel your whole body releasing into the earth. Let's do a shoulder stretch. Bring your head up. Walk those hands out as far as you can. Attempt to lower that forehead to the floor. And hold. All right, back up to your hands and knees. We're going to lower ourselves to the floor. There are a couple of things I'd like to do down here. So remember, whenever you do, your elbows need to be rubbing there. It's a tricep lowering. Your elbows should be pressing into your sides as you slowly lower yourself to the floor. And this is probably the simplest thing you're going to do all day. It's called climber. With your head resting on your mat, you're just bringing that leg out to the side and relaxing. Use this time to release any tensions, check in with your body. Should not have any tightening. Your hands should be relaxed, your toes. Go through and check. Some people sleep this way. So from here, we're going to go to a modified scorpion, which is up on your side, bringing this foot all the way back behind you. You can follow it with your hand, pressing that hip forward for an added quad stretch, or you can just remain holding yourself here. The more advanced version of this pose is actually with your lower arm. It's a chest opener behind you as you open. It's not comfortable for everyone, so you can give it a try if you want to, but be gentle. So feel the stretch through your quads. Let's do the other side. Climber, leg up. In a modified scorpion, you take that bent leg all the way behind you. let's unwind back to the floor. Here we'll gently work on your lower back. So we're either pressing up into Cobra, which is going until your stopping point, or you can place your elbows below you, pushing the floor away for Sphinx. You can do it both ways with your glutes tight and with your glutes relaxed, and see if one you feel more benefit from one versus the other. And now we'll press up and over to child's pose. This time, child's pose with your arms behind you, which is a shoulder stretch. Don't forget, if your head won't touch, use your block or a pillow, something to give your spine a break. Continuing your shoulder stretch, keeping those elbows on the floor, sliding them up in the direction of your ears. All right, come on up to your hands and knees. Okay, so let's do some cat and cow for more spine stretching. Really focus on drawing that heart center up on your cow, tucking the pelvis and spreading the shoulder blades, pushing that floor away on your cat. Make sure you're doing this with your breathing. So continue to inhale until it's time to switch, and then continue to exhale and hold and stretch until all that air is gone on your cat. Okay, from here, I want you to have a seat, and this may be where some of you need to use your block in sitting. So if it is not comfortable for you to sit directly on these feet, opening up the tops, that's okay. Sit on that block. Get yourself so that you're comfortable. While we're here, I want you to focus on your posture. So remember that marionette string drawing you upward? What I want you to do is just a rotation with your shoulders. So bring them up, back, drawing those shoulder blades together, and then down. We're not going forward because our whole life is about forward. So down is where you start. Draw them up, sweeping them wide to the back, shoulder blades wide open. You may feel it through your collarbone, that's good. And then down, that means you're opening them up. Let's do 2 more times on this rotation. And then down. And then last time. And then down. So we're going to do a chin tuck. It is not the tuck that we originally did. You're keeping your head upright and drawing the chin backward. So you feel the difference in that stretch through the very top of your neck. It's not this. the head stays in a nice, good posture position, and then just double chin, draw it back. And that's that. You can do a nice check of your neck, see how it's doing, and your shoulders. Hopefully that opened them up. Have a seat. So I neglected to tell you to bring your strap. If you don't have your strap with you, pause it real quickly and go get your strap. We're going to be doing some forward folds here. So draw your pelvis out of the way. Your backside out of the way. Feel the sit bones. Forward fold is no rounding. We're continuing to keep this posture and bringing the chest forward. So this is your hinge point, your hips. If this is all the farther you go, then this is all the farther you go. Just so you know, when I started doing yoga, and I was an athlete, this is as far as I could go on forward fold. Not even upright. I wasn't even vertical. So don't feel frustrated, but let's work on how we can improve that. Firstly, relax the kneecap and the quads because they're hindering you being able to go forward. Think about your chest going towards your feet and use your breathing to sink into the pose. So nice big inhale and exhale. That's your sinking breath where you draw yourself a little bit lower and hold as you inhale. And once you get to the point that you can no longer make progress, that's your stopping point. Focus just on your breathing. Recheck everything to see if you can release any tension. And even your toes, your feet, there should be no tension. You may still be one of the people who has to have a slightly bent knee because your hamstrings are tight, so that's okay. I would rather that you have the bent knee and get some progress going forward, because those hamstrings are going to be your inhibitor on everything. Okay, and we'll just add to that with your inverted hurdler stretch, bringing your foot anywhere comfortable along this leg. Same premise applies. Your chest is going outward. This time, though, if you have your strap or not, the hand on the side of your bent knee is the one that should be reaching the farthest. That adds the back, the lower back, the hip, the glute to the stretch. So it makes it a more thorough stretch. Let's do the other side. And come on back up. Now you get to lay down. So we're going to lay down. However it's comfortable for you. If you need to hold that leg to lay down, then please do that so that it works out for you. Oh, hello, Mr. Kokosamia. And bring those arms first. Well, let's start there. We're laying down with our knees bent. Bring the pelvis up and then back down gently so we know that your whole lower back is in place. Check your shoulders, make sure they're down, and then one leg at a time, lowering to the floor. Your arms should come halfway to the sky, so touchdown position, and focus on the shoulders being pressed into the floor. If you would like an added chest opening here, this is a great time to put your bolster a long ways on your mat, balancing on it, allowing your arms and your chest to open even more. Even a rolled up towel if you'd like to get more of the stretch. Now reach those hands over the head. Full stretch here, just like your fingertips stretch on the floor. I'm standing up, sorry. This is your fingertip stretch on the floor. Continuing to try to keep the shoulders, the elbows, the forearms, everything down on the ground. And breathe. One more. Those arms back down first. You must do happy baby. So, getting a hold of those big toes, feet, or pant leg, whatever it takes for you to be able to draw those knees downward. Feel the compression on your spine. Start with a gentle rocking side to side. And go ahead and release those toes, but keeping your knees bent. Just a gentle spinal twist here, so laying your legs to one side, shoulders staying on the floor. Use your sinking breath, big inhale and exhale, so that you can open on your exhale. If it's comfortable for you to turn your head in the opposite direction of those knees, go ahead and do that to continue to help open the spine. Let's do the other side. Bringing those legs up and around. It's okay if you want to help those knees, if you want to lay your hand up there. Once more with happy baby. So return to those big toes. and release. Feet back to the floor. We're going to take ourselves down into corpse pose. I'm going to do it very deliberately though. So once again, lifting the pelvis, setting it down, and then letting one leg go, and then the other leg go. We're going to surrender here, one step at a time. So let's begin at your feet. Let your feet fall open. Actually taking those feet a little wider to the edge of your mat. Relaxing the ankles, the knees. Doing that checklist on your way up. Feel your hips broaden and settle. Your legs get heavy and melt into the earth. Check out your torso if you need to adjust those shoulders down. Get comfortable here. Laying your hands open and wide to the side. Inviting the renewing in. Settle the shoulders down as they melt with the earth. And the neck and up through your head. As your breathing allows you to release. Relax and soften into the earth. Now at this time, the best thing to do would be to remain in this position for at least 5 minutes. Really dwelling in the peacefulness of it all. So uncharacteristically, I'm going to remain on the floor with you. Enjoy the relaxation. Remain here as long as you want to. From which I say to you very quietly that my spirit honors your spirit. Namaste.